The kind of crimes they committed baffled police investigators until one of them was arrested in Naivasha moments after the killing of 2 people. The man was wearing a wristwatch of a man he had just killed. The state versus Edward MARUA and others. This is Case Files. They all have special facial features that set them apart from the 1,000 inmates at Nakuru maximum security prison. Edward MARUA Maiso, alias Kiramba, has a gap between his lower teeth. ALFRED RIOBA, alias Washington, has always adorned a mustache. George NYAKUNDI Bikeri wears a young face. He is the youngest among the 3 men described by the courts as violent robbers and killers. Before December 2002, police in 2 provinces were trying to resolve cases of violent robberies that involved 3 men with unique physical features. The features as narrated to them by victims of the crime who managed to escape from the hands of the 3 men. The second week of December 2002, 2 people in Naivasha fell victim to another violent crime. A team of flying squad police officers in the town got wind of it. So was another team of police officers from Nakuru Provincial Police Headquarters. David Kioko Muia was heading home when he was confronted by 3 armed men wielding a G3 rifle and knives. The gang attempted to rob David and Julius Kimatu, and after the attempt, they shot dead David Kioko Muia. Moments later, the same gang moved to Lakeview Estate in the same town of Naivasha. A mother and wife leaving her mother's house, she was confronted by a man wielding a G3 rifle. The man pushed her back into her mother's house, took 10,000 shillings at gunpoint. The husband, Julius Kimata had been shot dead moments earlier. Coincidentally, at about the very day the crimes were being committed, Edward MARUA Kiramba was in Naivasha town.
Sijatoka Nairobi, kuna mwanamke alinipigia simu ambaye kuna kujaga pale Sirai boda. Ninuaga vitu kule Tanzania. Na alikuwa amechukua bagi yangu. Pigia simu akaniambia kwamba uko wapi? Uko Sirai? Nikamwambia no, niko Nairobi, hata niko jana narudi. Akasema upitie Naivasha. Nipitie Naivasha. Okay, ni mzuri, acha tunipitie nichukue pesa yangu na ile bagi yangu. As police officers examined the crime scene, another team went out to track down the would-be criminals. A bar attendant met them after he noticed a man who had booked into the hotel for the night. The man had a bundle of money and what looked like a rifle magazine. Ndipo ilipoweza kutokea ghafla ndani ya bar. Ilipotokea ghafla ndani ya bar, maaskari walikuja moja kwa moja. Kuna mtu namkumbuka vizuri sana. Alikuwa anaitwa Chief Inspector Katola. Alipokuja, aliniambia nikae hivyo vile nilivyo. Na nisijaribu kutoka. Mimi nilipoona ni bunduki wako nazo, mimi sikufanya lingine. Mimi nilinua mikono juu. Ile katika hali ya kutaka kuinuka juu, nilipigwa risasi moja hapa. Nikapigwa risasi. Edward fitted the description of a short, well-built man and one who had the gun that night. He is the very man who shot dead the husband to Mary Osere Amina, who watched in horror as her husband was killed right before her. The hunt for 2 other men, one described as young and shy, the other adorning a mustache, kicked off. The search could lead the first team of police officers to Kisii town, where after 2 weeks, they arrested George NYAKUNDI.
Hakuna kitu tulipata. Tukarudi station. Wakati tumerudi station, kiasi mimi nikasema sasa hii bunduki wewe ndio utapepa hii mzigo na utakufa naye.
But the hunt for the killers of the 2 innocent Naivasha residents did not end there. The same team of police officers tracked down the last suspect into the 2 Naivasha murders to Eldoret town.
Wana wameingia kwenye plot. Nilifikira ni wateja wangu kama kawaida anaingia kuchukua timba ya timba. Sasa poenda pale kuuliza tatizo ni nini? Walianza kuniuliza mali ya nyumba, vitu kama permit ya TV and whatever, kila kitu. Nikawaonesha kila kitu. Wakaniambia tunaenda Langas Police Station, kuna kitu wataka kuuliza.
The puzzle of 3 men, one with a mustache, the other with a gap between his lower teeth, and one young and shy, was solved. A year later, the 3 stood trial for the murder of Julius Kimata and David Kioko Muia.
Sijawahi kwa mwizi maishani. Mimi nilikuwa ni mfanyabiashara na mimi natoka mbali. Naivasha hakuna mtu najua. Hakuna mtu yote alikuwa ananijua Naivasha isipokuwa huyu mwanamke nilikuwa nimeenda kuona, na tulipatikana in a public place. Hatukupatikana eti tulikuwa kwa scene, hapana. Nilikuwa nauliza hata risasi inapigwa ya nini?
There's nothing connecting me in this case. Apart kudai kusema kwamba nilitambuliwa kwenye scene na nilitambuliwa kwa sababu ya mustache. Hakuna kitu kingine zaidi.
Hapana. Ukuri wa Mungu mimi hapana. Hata Mungu aliyejua anajua.
Si mwenzako alimuona.
Siwezi jua kama ni yeye ama yeye, siwezi jua.
But witness after witness who appeared before Nakuru Principal Magistrate Stella Mketi placed the three at the scene of the twin murders. Sarah's mother, the woman whose husband was shot dead before the eyes of his young child, told the court, "I saw Sarah with a person carrying a gun. The two were heading my direction. My daughter told me to give them all the money. They punched me and I fell down. They led us to the bedroom where I gave them 10,000 shillings. Moments later, my daughter inquired about her husband. At the time she was bleeding, so was her child. We went outside where I saw my son lying on the ground. The mother says she saw one of the killers carrying a gun. The man, she says, was Edward MARUA Kiramba, the man who killed her son, Julius Kimatamburu. Mary Osebe Amina, whose husband was killed by the same gang, that night told the court, I was preparing dinner. My husband and a friend were chatting when at about 9 p.m. I heard a knock on the door. 3 men entered the house. One of them was wearing a mask. They demanded for money and we gave them 20,000 shillings. In the course of the robbery, they shot dead my husband. The one carrying a gun was the man who shot my husband." A night guard at Kanyo Bar, where the first robber was arrested on the very night the Naivasha killings occurred, told the trial magistrate, "I gave a key to room number 5 to Edward, the man who was short and of a dark complexion. He later sent me to buy him some beer. When I returned, I noticed several currency notes on the bed, mobile phones and a firearm magazine. I got suspicious and I reported the same to police officers on patrol that night." Edward, blamed for several killings during the robbery, says apart from the Naivasha robbery, where the court says he killed 2 people, he was framed in many other robbery incidents.
Nilinyongwa Kericho, kanyongwa Nakuru, nikanyongwa Kisii, na zingine zote zikaniwachilia.
Despite their plea of innocence, the 3 were sentenced to hang for 13 counts of robbery with violence. They have since appealed against the ruling in several courts across the country, managing to successfully have 8 convictions quashed. He says he was a gun runner, but he cannot account for the crimes the gun is sold to gangsters committed. The story of a man who has been in jail since 1999 and now serving a sentence for a crime he committed. Onsarigo for Case Files.